The holiday season arrives with a rush of lights, expectations, and emotions, and this story opens by following a family that believes preparation is the key to peace. As suitcases line the hallway and calendars fill with obligations, every item on the checklist feels like a promise that nothing will go wrong, yet beneath the careful planning, tensions quietly build. Parents worry about finances, children feel pulled between traditions, and unspoken resentments linger like unopened gifts. The checklist grows longer, but so do the silences. What begins as an effort to stay organized slowly reveals deeper questions about control, trust, and whether perfection can actually protect a family from disappointment during the holidays. As the episode unfolds, Dr. Phil's voice guides the conversation toward the emotional meaning behind the checklist. Each item represents more than a task. It symbolizes fear of letting someone down. A mother insists that everything must be perfect because she equates chaos with failure. A father nods along but feels invisible, believing his emotional needs never make the list. The children sense the pressure and respond with anxiety or rebellion. The holiday checklist, meant to simplify life, becomes a mirror reflecting unresolved conflicts that have been ignored throughout the year. The family sits together, reading aloud the items they believe are essential for a successful holiday. Flights, gifts, meals, visits, and photos are all included, but no one has written down rest, patience, or understanding. Dr. Phil challenges them to consider what happens when a checklist ignores emotional health. The room grows quiet as each person realizes they have been chasing an image of happiness rather than the feeling itself. The holiday season magnifies everything, turning small frustrations into major arguments and minor misunderstandings into lasting wounds. One member of the family admits that holidays trigger memories of past disappointments. Childhood expectations that were never met still echo in adulthood, shaping how they prepare today. Dr. Phil explains how unresolved pain often disguises itself as overplanning. By controlling schedules and details, people attempt to rewrite their past. The checklist becomes a shield, protecting them from vulnerability. Yet this protection also blocks genuine connection, leaving everyone exhausted and emotionally distant by the time the celebration actually arrives. The discussion shifts toward financial stress, a common but often hidden holiday burden. Gifts, travel, and appearances come at a cost, and the pressure to provide can feel overwhelming. One parent confesses to lying awake at night, mentally adding numbers instead of counting blessings. Dr. Phil emphasizes that money worries can quietly poison family interactions, turning generosity into resentment. The checklist includes budgets and receipts, but no space for honest conversations about limits and shared responsibility. As emotions surface, the children finally speak openly about their experiences. They describe feeling like background characters in a performance designed for relatives and social media. Smiles are required, gratitude is expected, and mistakes are not tolerated. Dr. Phil reminds the parents that children often remember how holidays felt, not how perfectly they were executed. The checklist may capture tasks, but it cannot measure warmth, safety, or the freedom to be imperfect. Conflict arises when extended family expectations are discussed. Obligations to visit, host, or please others weigh heavily on the household. One partner feels torn between loyalty to their parents and commitment to their spouse. Dr. Phil highlights how boundaries are essential, especially during emotionally charged seasons. A checklist that prioritizes everyone else's comfort over the family's well-being is destined to fail. Saying no, he explains, can be an act of love rather than rejection. The conversation deepens as the family explores communication patterns. Arguments often erupt not because of what is said, but because of what remains unsaid. Sarcasm replaces honesty, and silence becomes a weapon. Dr. Phil encourages them to add emotional check-ins to their holiday planning. Asking simple questions like "How are you really doing?" can transform tension into understanding. The checklist evolves from a rigid list into a flexible guide. Past holidays are revisited, revealing moments of joy mixed with regret. Missed opportunities for connection linger longer than forgotten gifts. Dr. Phil stresses that forgiveness is a crucial holiday skill. Holding on to old grievances only guarantees their repetition. By acknowledging mistakes without assigning blame, the family begins to see how healing can start long before the decorations are packed away. The episode highlights the impact of social comparison. Seeing other families' curated happiness fuels unrealistic expectations. Dr. Phil warns against measuring success through external validation. The checklist should reflect personal values, not societal pressure. Authenticity, he explains, creates memories that last longer than perfection. The family slowly recognizes that their most meaningful moments were spontaneous, not scheduled. Attention turns to self-care, often the first thing sacrificed during busy seasons. Exhaustion fuels irritability, and burnout masquerades as holiday spirit. Dr. Phil advises each family member to identify what replenishes them emotionally. Rest, reflection, and boundaries are reframed as necessities rather than luxuries. A checklist without self-care is incomplete, no matter how detailed it appears. The parents confront their fear of judgment. Hosting flawless gatherings feels safer than exposing vulnerability. Dr. Phil challenges this belief, explaining that connection grows through honesty, not performance. Letting guests see the real family, mess and all, can relieve pressure and invite genuine warmth. The checklist begins to lose its grip as authenticity takes its place. The family practices expressing appreciation aloud. Simple acknowledgments shift the emotional atmosphere in the room. Dr. Phil notes that gratitude, when sincere, can rewire interactions. Instead of focusing on what might go wrong, the family learns to recognize what is already right. The checklist transforms into a gratitude list, highlighting relationships over responsibilities. As solutions emerge, the family creates a new kind of holiday plan. It includes time for laughter, space for quiet, and permission to adapt. Dr. Phil reinforces that flexibility is a sign of strength, not failure. Life is unpredictable, and holidays amplify that truth. A healthy checklist evolves with circumstances rather than resisting them. The children are invited to help design the holiday experience. Their ideas prioritize games, shared meals, and relaxed routines. Dr. Phil points out that inclusion builds ownership and joy. When everyone contributes, the holiday becomes a shared creation instead of a performance directed by one person. The checklist becomes collaborative, reflecting diverse needs. The episode addresses grief, acknowledging that holidays can intensify loss. Empty chairs and familiar traditions can reopen wounds. Dr. Phil encourages honoring memories without letting sorrow overshadow the present. Adding moments of remembrance to the checklist allows space for healing while still embracing joy. Grief and gratitude, he explains, can coexist. As the conversation nears its end, the family reflects on what they have learned. The checklist is no longer about control, but about intention. Dr. Phil emphasizes that holidays are opportunities for connection, not tests to be passed. When expectations are realistic and communication is open, stress loses its power. The family commits to practicing what they have discussed. They agree to check in emotionally, respect boundaries, and prioritize rest. Dr. Phil reminds them that change requires consistency, not perfection. Even small shifts can create meaningful impact over time. The holiday checklist becomes a living document, adjusted with compassion. Looking forward, the family expresses cautious optimism. They understand challenges will still arise, but they now possess tools to navigate them together. Dr. Phil reinforces the importance of accountability and reflection after the holidays end. Growth does not stop when the decorations come down. It continues through everyday choices. The episode closes with a powerful reminder that the true purpose of the holidays is connection. A checklist can guide actions, but it cannot replace empathy, honesty, and love. By redefining success, the family steps into the season with lighter hearts. The holiday checklist, once a source of pressure, becomes a symbol of intention, balance, and shared humanity.